Hello, today we want to give you a demonstration of training as a training on the pad. If we train the dog to go to the mat, we can teach him the correct pooping behavior. We can teach him not to go to the sofa, not to go to bed, when eating, or when we need him to be quiet. We can let him go to the mat. He will be very willing to go to the mat. Then there are other dogs, for example. When strangers enter the door, will go to jump on people. In fact, these can be trained through the mat. To change these behaviors. Also, for example, the dog is very nervous about going out, afraid to ride in the car, or to go to the hospital for injections, or to go to the bath, grooming, nervous, reluctant to go to the wind, can be through the training on the mat to solve these problems. We are every time we let him on the mat will feel good. So he will especially like to go to the mat above. So today, we will show you a mat training, and then we will evolve the process of mat to stand on an object, and then we teach the dog how to walk with us on our left side through this training. Because many dogs will go out and pull their owners around. In fact, this is a very affordable training. You see, in the process of shooting, he will like to stay on this mat, so that we will first put the mat on the ground. As long as it appears to look at the behavior of the mat, we will go to reward him. This is a shaping plus a goal of a training method. Yes, he just see us to give him a reward. Is completely to reward his autonomy, with his own brain to think a process. Hey turned back to see the pad to give the reward. Dogs have 1 foot on the mat, to give with the reward. The dog has 2 feet on the mat to give a reward. The dog has 2 feet on the mat to give a reward. This training process we use about 4 to 5 training periods. That is, if we do 2 training periods a day, we spend about 2 days to complete the training. If the dog on the mat this training well after it, we will find a smaller book, and then train the dog to stand on this book. The purpose of the dog to stand to this book is actually to train it to walk with. We said let him follow my leg side to walk. Why should stand on this book? Because the most important thing in this training is to fix the position of the dog's front legs, so that it can walk parallel to the position of our legs. So we now have to fix the dog's front limbs first. We first raised the height of the book, then the dog stood on the book's front legs will not move. Okay, he just has to stand up on his front legs and give a reward. Then the next step I started to let him turn around. Then have the dog stand on the book and turn in a circle. At the beginning of the dog, as long as the rotation, we will give rewards, and then the next step in the training is that he turn to the trainer between the legs, press the ringing piece to give rewards. There are many times the dog is not willing to buttocks to the master because behind he cannot see. So in this training process, This step is likely to be a little more difficult, but if it is more difficult, you can let him first turn the body to our right side a little bit, turn the body a little bit. There is not much of a problem. Hey, very good. Now has begun to turn their own initiative, there is no need to induce. Let him take the initiative to rotate. The next step in the training is that we will stand one step forward. Because the dog's concept of learning is to turn to the middle of the leg to get rewarded, it will try hard to find a way to turn to the owner's or trainer's leg when it is spinning, so it will appear especially tight against the owner's leg. Because the person stands forward, the dog will begin to rotate, then the dog will approach our legs, and then as soon as the dog leans on our legs, we will calibrate this behavior with a rattling piece to give a reward. Well, the next step is to start lowering the height of the book, which can be done gradually. If it goes well, you can lower it again. Then start reducing the thickness of the book again. Now only the thickness of a book, very thin, is the feeling of the dog's body is basically standing on the ground of that feeling, Then we remove the last book. Then we can take a step like next to it and see how the dog reacts. If we take a step to the side, and then the dog can still stick close to your leg, it means he already understands the concept, that is, the dog with his body shoulder position to lean on your leg, so then we can start to be back and forth movement. You can see that dogs especially like to get on the mat. In fact, we just said it is a mat training, but the mat training can involve a lot of other training, and we can use the mat training to overcome some of the things that dogs do not like. Just now we are using the pad training to demonstrate how to turn into a walker training, because there are many dogs in life pulling behavior is still very strong, so you can use this training to change a pulling behavior. Teach the dog to stand on the left side of the owner to follow. Later we have other training on the evolution of the mat, see the demonstration of our juice. Have you learned? If not learned, you can watch this video repeatedly. In this training program is still relative to other training is more. Welcome to subscribe to this channel and open the little bell, leave a message in the comments section, and continue to watch the next episode of